Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. And today I'm gonna talk about how competitive the Orange County market is. So my name is Kwa, and I'm with KT Wealth Builders. And so is the OC market actually really hot, or are some buyers just being led into a bad deals? So imagine buying a house for under $1 million, do some minor updates, and selling it for nearly $1.54 million just a year later. Sound like 2021, right? Well, that's happening in 2026 right now. So here is the house that I'm gonna talk about. This one is at 301 Marvin Avenue, Fullerton, because I have an MLS access, so I can see the listing a year ago. This was listed back in 2025. I think it was at a short sale. Notice the default, so it's probably in default status. So it was sell for only 935,000. So this is how the house looked like back in 2025. So it's really old, to be honest. Like honestly, it's old, but it's structurally it's still good. From the photos, here's all the photos. Anyway, let's move on. So today I'm giving an agent point of view on whether this market is actually as competitive as the headlines say. I'm going to show you two property that recently sold. One went from for 100 over asking, while the other, which I think was actually the better house, sold for only $10,000 over asking. The difference between these two deals tells you everything you need to know about the market today. So this one right now, in 2026, this is what it turned into. Really nice house. Move-in ready. As you can see here, they have all the station items. So new paint. It looked like they did a lot of work, right? See all the pictures, like everything's new. New floor, new windows, uh, new paints, everything, right? So this one, as you can look at the history, let's go back to the listing. It lists for 1.29 million, right? So here you go, 1.29. And if you go back to the history, yeah, it's sold for 937,500. So it just recently sold on 430, which is like a couple days ago, for 1.39, right? So this is just close, and if you can see the ticker here is that exactly the same, this is exactly the same property sold for $450,000 less just a year ago. Now, as an agent, this raised two massive red flags. First, it's the appraisal. How can it went through the appraisal? The bank, when we buy a house, the bank is gonna send out an appraiser, and the appraiser have to appraise the house to make sure that the purchase price that the buyer is gonna pay for, it's gonna be it's gonna make sense for the bank if anything happened, right? So how does any appraiser justify for a $500,000 jump in just 12 months in the current interest rate environment? Unless they added a whole second floor, or they did like more square footage or anything like that, the math doesn't add up. Because as you can see here, the new listing that just sold, like the square foot is 1660, 3 bed, 2 bath. Now I don't know what they did, but if you look at the listing back a year ago, where is it? It's right here, right? A year ago, it was 2 bed, 2 bath, 1 and 1, 1 and a quarter. I think 1 and like a half, and they're also 1660. So the square footage is the same. So they didn't add anything. They didn't add new floor, or they didn't add like extra space. So why? What justify for the increase in 450,000, right? And the second question is the buyer agent. I don't know how many offers they had, because I'm not the buyer agent. But as an agent, the job of the buyer agent is to protect the buyer equity, right? If I am helping my buyer, and I see a house that has appreciated 450,000 in a single year, I have to ask that, is this a good investment? Are we just helping the seller, or are we just helping the seller, get the best deal, like the higher price? To me, it's odd that any agent would feel comfortable telling the buyers that paying $100,000 over asking on a property that's kind of with this kind of history, and that's $100,000 over asking. Now, if you look at the big picture, it's actually $450,000 over a price a year ago, right? So now let's compare that to another property that I have here. This home I consider is a better location. The reason is because the first home is in Fullerton, right? So if it's Orange County, the central areas like Fountain Valley, Huntington Beach, Westminster, and Garden Grove. This one's in the Fullerton, so it's a bit up north. Now, I haven't been to this exact location, so I don't know. But the other one that I want to show you is this property right here. The address is Cedarwood Avenue, Midway City. So it's Midway City. So if you look at the map, let me see if they have a map here. You look at the map. Oh, they don't have a map here. Okay. Let me go down here and see. They might have it here. So it's like really close to the freeway. Let me expand it. It's perfect, and it's not next to the freeway, so it's not like you don't hear a lot of noises, but it's like right close to the freeway, so you can just go out, right, and then the 405 right here. So go out, turn, go out here, turn right, and you're on the 405 right away. So it's a very good location, right? And then it's right in the middle of. If you live in Orange County, Midway City is a very nice city. It's right in the middle of everything. Let's see the other one. The other one is in Harbor. Oh, see, Harbor and Chapman. I live in Chapman, but I live down here in New Clinton, Chapman. Whoa. Okay. So anyway, but look, if I expand it out, look how far it is from the freeway, right? Oh, this one's a different Chapman. I live down all the way down here. Anyway, but this one's like 4 or 5 blocks away from 3 blocks away from the freeway. The other one is like half a block. So I would consider a second property, which is this one, in a better location. And look at this house. Price list 1.198. We got into the contract and it's scheduled to close next week for 1.208, which is like roughly 10,000 over asking only, right? 10,000 over asking. And if you look at the history of this house, this haven't been sold for like many years. List for sale. That's it. Look, the report. They just list for sale like just now, sold like years ago, like maybe like 10, 20 years ago, like the original owner, and then they didn't sell it until like today, so it's like a long time ago. But anyway, if you look at this, the house is 1,800 square feet, so it's even bigger than the other one. And look at the photos, right? It's move-in ready also. Look, new paste, new floor, new cabinet, even have like a bar area in the kitchen. Let's expand from here all the way to, let's see, here. See, they have a bar to put your wine, all that stuff. I don't know what that called, but look at the photos. It's similar to the other one. I wouldn't say from the photo I wouldn't be able to tell which one's in better condition, because both of them are really in move-in condition, right? But the thing is like the price. The price is for the other one is 100,000 more. This one it's only 10,000 more. This one is bigger square footage. The other one smaller square footage. The only the other difference is the space, like the lot. This one's only 7,300. The other one's like 8,000 something. The other one lot is 8,300. So it's like 1,000 square feet more. But unless you plan to do something with the lot, it's even not even that. It's not even that big of a deal. So this is probably B right here. Here, this one, right? And this one is the one that I help my clients. I mean, I know how competitive it was because I went through the whole process. We actually beat out 5 other offers in order for us to purchase this house. So but we only went over asking for like 10,000. Now, while everyone is distracted by the hype and the bidding war over the other property B is sitting there and offering more value for much more reasonable price. So this proved my main point of the market is only as competitive as you and your agent want it to be. If you're chasing the hot listing that's everyone is talking about, you're going to be overpaid. You're going to overpay no matter what. If you're looking at the data and find value, you can still get a great deal. And I'm considering like they probably be in a very good deal because you're looking at comparable. I sent the comparable to my client before we make a bid, and most of them were over 1.2 million, and some of them was like 1.25. So I think or myself and my client think that it's a pretty good deal, and it's only $10,000 over asking. So Is OC competitive? Yes, it is, but it's selective competitive. We're seeing a huge gap between emotional buyer who are overpaying and strategic buyer who are winning. Now, if you're a buyer in 2006, you need to ask your agent 3 questions before you put 100,000 over asking, right? So the first one is what changed in a year? If the price jumped $450,000 in a year, ask them where's the value added. I mean, I can see from here that the older the kind that they bought last year, the probably is in old, like it's old. Look at all the picture. There's no there's no what's it? There's no argument about it. It's really old. But the thing is like, is it $450,000 old? No. I would say you could put like 100 grand, 150, turn this right into this, maybe 150, right? But not 450. So that's the question you need to ask your agent. Why the price jump up so much and why you have to bid over 100,000 just to get that property, right? And then the second question you need to ask them is how will this appraise? Because the lender is going to be there. Like, what if the lender come in and they only appraise it at 1.29? Then the buyer have to bring in an extra $100,000 because the lender is not going to lend that portion. See? So the price here. So if the lender only appraise it for 1.29, the $100,000 extra the buyer have to bring in, right? So they have to be prepared. If they're gonna bid that much over, they have to be prepared to bring in the extra money, right? And then are we chasing the house or the height? Is there a bigger, better house, out there that's for less? And this to me consider is a bigger and better house, right? So the $450 increase in 1 year might make for a quick headline. Like the other agent, he celebrated on Facebook because he was able to purchase the property for his client for $100 over asking, but it doesn't always make for a great investment for the buyer. So don't let the fear of missing out drive your largest financial decision. Most likely the largest one. What would you do? Would you walk away from a house that jumped $450,000 in a year, or would you jump into a bidding for it? I always tell my client that if you like a house, don't ever like the first thing when I meet up with a client is like I warn them like don't fall in love with the house. Be prepared to walk away because if you once you do fall in love with the house and you tell yourself that you can't live without that house, no matter what I do on the negotiation end, you will be overpaid because you're bidding against other people and your emotion will take over, right? But then if you're willing to walk away from a house, let's say if you like the house, you can go up like 5,000, 10,000, and that's only like a couple like $100 a month in payment. But you bought the house that you like this one, that's okay. But for you to go 50 or 20, 50 or 100,000 over asking, I can't. When my client told me that when my client liked this house and then they asked me for what do I think is a good price, I'm like, well, the thing is that I don't have enough information to tell you what price you should put. I do have a comparable, and the comparable say that this house value is a little bit below its actual value. So if you want to, we could go up like 5,000, and then that's the reason and then that's what they did. And then the second round of bidding, we went another 5,000, which is a total of 10,000. And then what they did, and they got the house. They don't have to go over 50,000 or 100,000. I cannot justify doing that when I don't even know anything about the other bid. And you technically you won't be able to know what the other bid is because the other bid could come in before you or after you. But if you know the number of bid, that would be a good starting point, right? So let's talk about this in the comment, and if you want an agent that protected that value your equity over just getting a sold sign, reach out to me. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video. The reason that I bring this video up is because I saw the buy agent for this property celebrating on Facebook, right? I saw him celebrating on Facebook about how he's a buy agent and he was able to help the buyer purchase a house for $100,000 more, right? And initially I felt like I'll like to reach out to the agent and ask they to justify such a significant jump between the last year price and this year price, because in the listing itself it only lists like the post itself is only listed like how much the house will sell for, and I look go at Zillow, I only see the listing price. But if I dig deeper, I see the other price. And so, but then at the end, I decided to keep that thought to myself and actually make this video instead, because in this industry, everyone has their own strategy, and I didn't want a professional inquiry to be misconstrued as an offense. Agent get just last line of thought is, agent get paid by percentage, so maybe he was celebrating his large commission check at the end after the house sell, right? So anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you find this video helpful and you need help with buying, selling, or renting, leasing real estate in Orange County, or actually San Marino or any other county around Orange County, reach out to me and I'll give you any advice that I have, any tips. Alright, so thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.